Hello, and welcome back to another Hoops Hype edition. It's a double header, and we've got plenty to talk about. That is for certain. Two very different stories across these two games. One is a battle of the cellar dwellers, where pride, pressure, and professional standards are on the line. The other feels like playoffs basketball in January. It's basketball Christmas come early, big bodies, big names, and no margin for error. This is your Hoops Hype. Let's get into it. Make sure, of course, if you love your NBL content with a bit of clarity and some bite, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and following us across our socials at The Chris Mack Show on your favourite social media channels. Let's start with Cairns and the Brisbane Bullets at the Cairns Convention Centre. Cairns come into this one with that last start win over Melbourne United. Some are calling it an upset. Some are just saying it's Cairns finally delivering what they're capable of. Brisbane arrive having lost 4 straight. But make no mistake, this is a battle of the cellar dwellers. This is a battle of 9th and 10th. And the question is simple. Who can actually get it done and who wants to stay away from the foot of the ladder that little bit more? In terms of the matchups, let's talk Sam Wardenberg. He's absolutely going to be key for the Taipans. He doesn't have an obvious big matchup here, and that should worry Brisbane. Tohu Smith-Milner will probably come on and take that role at different times, but this is a huge step up in class for Smith-Milner. He's solid. Wardenberg's a star when he gets going and firing, and he's starting to build towards that sort of temperament. Wardenberg's athleticism is going to be hard for them to match, and he should be able to dominate both the post and the paint, and how that matchup plays out could certainly define this game. And then, of course, the questions. Jack McVeigh versus Hunter Maldonado. McVeigh, electric for Cairns. If the team is performing better, he may even find himself in the MVP conversation, but still well shy of the top of the race. Maldonado looks solid in his first outing with Brisbane after moving from southeast Melbourne, but now the load gets heavy. More injuries are piling for them, the Bullets, and that's starting to ask some questions. Can he sustain it night after night? Brisbane do look a lot better with someone distributing the ball so effectively. They've missed it since Casey Prather. They've now got Maldonado in there. What can he deliver with such a litany of injuries throughout this Bullets squad? That's the big question, and he's going to have a big task tonight in the far north. In terms of the stats of substance, these two are the 2 worst defensive teams in the league, and that's why they're sitting exactly where they are on the competition ladder. Cairns do have a little secret weapon, though. They can score in bunches and launch from deep. They are one of the most effective teams from three-point range, second in the league with 10 three-pointers per game. That's where they look to hurt Brisbane. Brisbane need to make sure that they defend the perimeter well, but not give up that paint inside, because otherwise Wardenberg and McVeigh will go to work. For the Bullets, discipline's everything. Protect the rim, hold the shape in the post, and don't let McVeigh bend the defense. Force the threes from uncomfortable positions, and that's possibly how you get on top. Not easy, especially up there in the far north in the middle of the wet season. This is Brisbane's chance to shine, however. Absolutely no pressure. Decimated by injuries. Daryl McDonald said he wants the coaching job. The word is they're looking elsewhere. The players say they love him. This is time to show it with their actions. They've been better, just not good enough. But they lose this, and they're almost guaranteed to finish 10th at the end of the season, barring some sort of anomaly. Game 2, Southeast Melbourne. Go back to the State Basketball Centre, this time against the Perth Wildcats. Now, this one, as I said, it feels like playoff basketball in January. 2nd v 5th, Perth looking to climb. Southeast Melbourne trying to lock in that automatic playoff position in the top 2. We can't avoid it when we talk matchups that matter. Nathan Sobey is the engine. The chants rang around the State Basketball Centre on Thursday night. MVP. They want him in that conversation. He's probably just off the heels of Cotton and Davis at the moment, but keep putting in performances like he has been, and that gap is closing quickly. It's going to be interesting because if he sets the table, suddenly Glover, Clark, and the rest of the supporting cast can all of a sudden get better looks, star, and pull apart an opposition. But the big matchup here for mine, Jordan Hunter versus Joe Luala-Chul. JLA hasn't quite hit his ceiling this season. He's been close, but he hasn't fully clicked as one of those top-tier guys in the league. At his best, he's absolutely ruthless. He just hasn't quite been there. He's been in 3rd and 4th gear, it feels, most of the year. But this is a great matchup for him. 2 players that are really versatile bigs. They'll get on the move. They'll get it done. And they're going to go toe-to-toe for bragging rights here. Geordie Hunter, underrated by many in this league. He's dangerous from out wide. He can distribute the ball, but he can get it done under the post as well. This will be a great matchup. And the winner of this matchup may well determine the winner of this result. I think JLA has the edge in terms of traits, but he's got to play to those abilities. In terms of the stats of substance, Southeast Melbourne, 4 of their last 5, all W's. They're in form. Perth, a little bit like their roller coaster season, 3 from 5. Phoenix, We touched on it. They're coming off an overtime win over Illawarra. The State Basketball Centre will be packed. They're putting up points. The Wildcats still have the fresher legs, the longer turnaround, but they've had to come cross-country. The last two games have been head-to-head. South East Melbourne won the last one by 1 in Perth and the first game of the season by 5 in Melbourne. They meet twice more in the next 3 weeks, and this is Perth's chance to get one back. Otherwise, the Phoenix may just sweep the series. Certainly going to be interesting. Can't wait for these two matchups tonight. Let's go to our wise wagers. Let's talk Cairns and Brisbane. They're two teams with poor offense. That says one thing for me, under. Take the under 180.5. Seems pretty straightforward. Also around that even money, I've got Jack McVeigh for 3 threes. The man's electric. If he gets going, especially if the defense doesn't block up around the perimeter, he could absolutely have a lights-out night. So you can get that at a plus 115, $2.15 Australian. And the value play, Cairns, take them at a slightly juiced line, minus 4.5, and McVeigh with those 3 threes. That'll get you $3.50 plus 250. So they're our bets for the Taipans versus the Bullets. On to South East Melbourne and Perth. I've just gone the Magic at the line. The Phoenix. There we go. Throwback to bygone days. The South East Melbourne Phoenix at the line, minus 4.5 to get this done. They've won them by 1 and 5. I think it'll be a close game. I think you could probably look at South East Melbourne 1 to 10 as well as a value bet. I've also got the unders here. The total's pretty high. You can get it anywhere from 187.5 to 189.5. I've marked it as 188.5 here. Again, that minus 110. That's what you want to look at. And then as I tip through in those matchups, I want to see some action from JLA, Joe Luala-Chul Jr. here. So JLA, 20-plus points and 6-plus rebounds at $3.50. Time to lead like this superstar that you should be, JLA. So looking forward to that. As always, make sure to gamble responsibly. But the one thing that's guaranteed, 2 interesting games like the NBL always delivers. It can be anything. It will be anything. So 2 games, 2 different narratives. One's about survival and pride. The other's statements and seeding and where they finish the season. But that's your Hoops Hype Roundup. For full breakdowns, more coverage, and our live watch-alongs when they're back during the week next week, plus plenty more, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Follow us across our socials at The Chris Mack Show so you don't miss a clip. You can find us on TikTok, on Instagram, on X, and on Facebook. But a big thank you to you for tuning into your home of the black and white of sports, The Chris McPherson Show. For Hoops Hype.